This is some shit that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friends. Some people started diddling, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue diddling forever just because this is the welcome. This topic, as I've said in multiple videos already, has become way too common. I feel like once a week we're gonna talk about some shit like this, and it's crazy to me. So I started out my day laying in bed browsing Twitter like any good bum would do, and I came across so many different tweets regarding this situation with Kris Tyson. For anyone who doesn't know, Kris Tyson is a part of MrBeast's team, who I assume you all know at this point, but if by chance you live under a rock, he's the biggest YouTuber on the platform. He's done amazing content. He does crazy games. He brings together all sorts of different YouTubers, and he's done a lot of good things that help people through his success. Now, Kris Tyson has officially come out as trans some time ago. He transitioned from Kris Tyson to Ava Kris Tyson, which sparked a lot of drama in itself amongst both content creators and fans. But that's not what this video is about. What seems to be happening is they are being accused of talking to a 13 or 14-year-old kid when they were 20 years old back in like 2017 or 2018 and saying a lot of weird, edgy, sexually suggestive things, not necessarily flirting or sending any crazy pictures, or maybe you could take it as flirting. I don't really know. All I know is it's not stuff that you would normally send a 13 or 14-year-old when you're 20 years old. Now, from everything that I understand, this kid won a MrBeast contest back then, and that was how they got in contact. And I came across a few different videos, but here's a clip from one of them, which explains some of these DMs.
Now, in the next year in 2019, it shows that Kris Tyson and this minor had both direct contact with one another through Snapchat, which is extremely weird, first of all, and second of all, Lava shows a weird snap they received from Kris Tyson, showing her stating, "I'm coming for America," which, joke or not, how the hell is this suitable to send to a minor who is 7 years younger than you when you're a grown adult? More screenshots show the weird names they would call each other, and then the weird memes that they would share with one another, with Lava stating, "Kris, practice with this tomorrow," showing an image of a banana, like it's pretty easy to know what he's referencing with this. And then Kris Tyson responds with an image of James Charles and states, "Lava's mum tomorrow," so once again making more degenerative jokes to a legitimate child who is 15 years old at this time when she is in her 20s. Also, really just to hammer in the point that Lava and Kris are close friends, there is screenshot proof from 2020 of them being in Discord calls. There is also proof that Lava received Snapchat messages from Kris in 2019, meaning he must have had her added, and Kris Tyson even has Lava added on Steam. 2018 screenshots as well show Lava stating that Kris Tyson private messaged him on Twitter, and Lava even ended up appearing in MrBeast's Minecraft video as a helper. But something extremely eyebrow-raising was Discord logs in Carl's server from 2020, and keep in mind the two users who we will be focusing on, Lava and Jedi, were both 16 years old at this time. Now, Jedi states that he sold his camper to Lava, and Lava states how he's using this camper to travel to a remote area in the woods in North Carolina to meet Carl and Kris Tyson. Now, Lava states how much he loves Carl, with Jedi stating that Carl simps for him, and that Carl is offering him ice cream and money if he does quote-unquote stuff for him. Like, what the fuck is that even supposed to mean? Then Lava asks Jedi why he's coming to North Carolina, and Jedi replies with, "Because," and a winky face, and Lava replies with a winky face back. Another message shows Lava pinging Carl and stating, "See you Tuesday, baby girl," followed by screenshots of Lava's Instagram posts, who, keep in mind, was 16 years old, with literally Kris and Carl on both of his sides.
Now, apparently this isn't the only thing that they're being exposed for. There are some other videos that came out 3-4 weeks ago or something around that timeline, which is talking about them liking lolly drawings, which anybody that's not familiar, it's like a genre of animated characters that are underage and drawn in sexual manners, if I'm not mistaken. And apparently he supports a big artist that does that and has even been in trouble, I guess, in the past for making some of these drawings. And so people are showing that as well as the situation with the kid. And it kind of doesn't look good, especially when it's together, right? Like, you could try to argue that you're just doing some edgy jokes. It's a kid in the Discord. It's not really anything serious. But when you add it to the fact that you're backing an artist that's drawing little kid animations in weird situations, it doesn't really look that good. I do want to make it clear, though, that this is not me trying to expose him. I'm not here to place blame. I'm just giving you guys all the information that I found because I didn't see a video that contained all of it, right? So I'm going to tell you guys all the stuff that I found on Twitter. We're going to look at some interesting tweets here in a minute that I found as well. And I'm more so just compiling all of it so you guys can make a decision on your own. Now, as far as some of the stuff I found on Twitter, the first thing I want to go over is how Kris Tyson deleted every single tweet and reply they've ever sent. Now, I don't know if they just did this. I'm hearing from some people they did it a month or two ago. Some people said it was more recent. Regardless, they deleted everything. So there's no more going back and trying to find some of these tweets. And I can understand it from two different perspectives, because there are times where you've had a Twitter account for the past 10 years and edgy stuff used to be funny. It was accepted. And a lot of that stuff that was accepted and funny can now get somebody canceled. I think we've seen it with Kevin Hart. We've seen it with other people. And so they may have just deleted it thinking people are going to dig up even more stuff. It's not who I am. It's going to play into this narrative that I'm doing these horrible things. I'm just going to get rid of them. That is possible. But it's also possible that there are some other crazy things that were said that they just don't want to come to light. And so they deleted all of it. I can't say one way or the other which it is. But again, with the information that we're getting right now, it doesn't look good. Another important tweet that I did come across was from the alleged victim of these messages, who spoke out claiming he was never exploited or taken advantage of, and that the videos that came out are twisting the facts when all that happened was edgy jokes were being sent in a Discord. Apparently, Keemstar from Drama Alert was also able to reach out to the victim through MrBeast and was told that when he met up with Kris and the team, it was his family that was with him and nothing happened. It's not what everybody's trying to play it out to be. So this is where it gets tricky for me, because right now what he's being accused of is grooming an underage fan. For anyone that doesn't know, grooming is basically when there's somebody who's underage, and instead of you trying to get together and do anything inappropriate with them, you try to create a relationship. You try to get their guard down. You make them comfortable around you. And then as they get older and as soon as they become of age, you could then swoop in and do your thing, basically. And the reason why I said it gets tricky is because he apparently has never met with this kid without his family, without the team around, and so there's never been an advancement of anything sexual. So is it still grooming? It's definitely weird, but let's just say that you have edgy jokes with a kid, which I don't know why you'd want to do that, but let's just say that you did that, and you never had intentions, and you never tried to meet them when they're of age, and you never did any of the extra stuff. Is it still grooming? I honestly don't know. That's why I'm asking you guys. I just know that it seems weird. Like, I've had a kid that came into my Discord probably in the last 3 to 4 months, and I ended up banning him, and I feel bad that I did, but we have a lot of adult conversations, and it just feels odd to have some kid who's like 13 or 14 years old in the Discord reading the messages, and especially if he was to try to join in, it just doesn't seem right. Like, I don't know. Like, even though it's nobody directly talking to him, I just feel like he shouldn't even be around the conversation. He's a kid. Go play games, play with figurines, and, you know what I'm saying, do all the shit that you do as a kid, and then you grow up and you can join in on stuff like this. But it just seems so odd that somebody would actively have this kind of a conversation with someone who's underage. Now, it's also tricky because the alleged victim is the one that's come out and said, nothing happened. He didn't groom me. I don't feel like anything weird went down. I was an edgy kid. We had edgy jokes back and forth, and that's it. And so you'd think, right, the victim themselves, or the person we look at as the victim, would know better than anybody. But at the same time, when it comes to grooming, there's a lot of people that will be either in denial, they don't think anything happened wrong, and they don't realize it until they're older and more mature, and in hindsight, looking back, feel like this was kind of weird. And then you add in the fact that his parents went with him when they all met and got together, and it seems like there's not really anything wrong that occurred. But at the same time, and I'm not saying this kid's parents are doing this, but when we look back at the R. Kelly situation, there was some parents that literally hoed their daughters out underage, thinking he's going to change their life, he's going to change their career, he's going to change our life. And so they were willing to let some shit slide that probably shouldn't have slid. Now, I'm not saying that this is what's going on here, but I'm just saying that you can't look at everything surface level and be like, well, it's perfectly fine. But you also can't look at it and be like, this is definitely what he did. So that's why I'm not really in the blame game right now, and I'm more so just putting the information together, agreeing that it looks weird, but I'm not going to jump out the window and say he did or he didn't do, you know, whatever it is. I don't know yet. Aside from that, I came across some tweets from a former MrBeast team member, Jake the Viking, who's come out accusing Kris of apparently messaging an underage girl on Snapchat in the past. I haven't seen much more context about this outside of this tweet, but he also claimed that MrBeast knew. Now, there's no extra context to that tweet either, and I don't know exactly what he meant, but given what's circulating on Twitter, you have to assume he's saying MrBeast was aware of the fact Kris had been sending these messages to the underage fan. Now, what that means, I don't really know. Did MrBeast know about it and sit down and talk to Kris? Did he not think that it was a big deal? Did he really have no idea any of it was going on and he's just saying that he did? I don't really know the insides of it, but I'm not going to throw MrBeast under the bus. He seems like a really good guy. He's helped a lot of people, and there's no context or information given that makes me think I need to throw him under the bus. I know that in the internet 2024, everybody is quick to jump on the cancel train, and they're like, his name got mentioned with his. Get him out of here. He's a horrible person. I knew there was something about him, and I'm seeing tweets like that, and I honestly can't stand it. People love to just jump the gun and go crazy. which is why I said even in this video, I'm giving you all of the facts that I know, all the stuff that I've seen. I'm curious if more comes out, but I am not here to blame, accuse, or any of that stuff. I do think it's weird. I'm allowed to have that opinion, but an opinion changes when you start to say you're a pedo. That's a very big difference. And I get that a lot of you want to jump out the window and say that, and you're free to do so. But I like to wait for more information. Just the same as with Dr. Disrespect, I did not throw that man under the bus right away. I wanted to know more about what happened. I still want to see the chat logs. I want to get an understanding of who he was talking to. What was their age? What did he say exactly? Like, I need to know these things before I'm just going to completely discredit somebody and throw him under the bus. We love to do that without any actual proof or context or anything, and I get it, we're allowed to. Public opinion is not a court of law. As much as we want it to be innocent until proven guilty, that's not how public opinion works. That's not how perception works. So I do totally get it. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus who decided to just jump out the window and accuse somebody of something. You're free to feel that way. And I'm not even saying you're wrong, because we don't know. A lot of times in these situations, the simple answer is usually the answer, right? And the simple answer would be some weird shit went down. And I'm not here in disagreement of that, but I would like to see more stuff come out about this. The way that I see it, the ball is in Kris's court. This is 100% something you need to address. This is not something that you just pretend didn't happen and you just continue on your way. Like, this is a pretty big deal. And I get that the alleged victim has come forward, but we still want to hear from Kris. What were your thoughts? Why did you decide to have this edgy content with a kid? Why did you think that it was okay? Like, what was going through your mind? Because that's going to help us understand where you're coming from. Now, people may not believe you, but at least you've given your side. And I feel like that's important. So let me know what you guys think down below. I just wanted to talk about this. I will catch you in the next one, homies.